Good morning, gamers, for Wednesday, February 1st, 2017. Wow, we're in our second month already. And let's go ahead and take a look at the news here today. Our first story is from an EA conference call with shareholders, and it talks about Star Wars Battlefront 2 now having been officially announced and more details revealed. And basically, in this IGN.com story, they're saying that well, we already knew that the Battlefront sequel will be released in holiday 2017, but what we didn't know before is whether or not it will have a single-player campaign, and apparently it will. And it will also have more heroes and more characters, and take place not only in multiple locations, but of course, multiple eras of the Star Wars universe. So while it's called the sequel to Star Wars Battlefront, they're not actually saying it's Battlefront 2 yet. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I totally enjoyed the first Star Wars Battlefront. I just wish it had four-player co-op instead of only two. And then, single-player story would have been great, but it had lots of modes. And it was a lot of fun. Would have also been nice to play against bots, like maybe like a combat training from Black Ops. That would have been very cool. So let's look at our next story here. Another IGN.com story. EA puts the brakes on Skate 4 rumors. We talked about this yesterday, and there's no Skate 4. There's no product called Skate 4 in the works as of yet. So, somebody at EA had tweeted out Skate 4, hashtag Skate 4, but they said they're presently not making a Skate 4. So the good news is if you like Skate 3, it is backwards compatible. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next story, another IGN.com story. Wii U production ends globally. So we had talked about this yesterday or earlier in the week that they were going to stop production, making sense because they're ramping up production on a new console. But it actually stopped. It just stopped. And it's funny because they actually were losing money for every console they sold. So I guess that makes a lot of sense. Also, I was very surprised at this, but they only sold about 13.5 or a little bit more than 13.5 million consoles. So it's been out for quite a while, and it didn't really sell a lot. So nothing compared to the Wii. So very interesting there. All right, and as we know, the Nintendo Switch ships on March 3rd. Okay, next story. Here we are over at VG247.com, and this story is about how the Nintendo Switch will sell at a profit from day one. That's good, assuming that with the knowledge that the Wii U lost money, it's good to see that they'll be able to sell this with making money from day one. And there's a lot of talk about, hey, it doesn't have a pack-in game. Well, the launch version does not. Understandably, that may be something that comes down the road as they get all the initial sales from the initial games, and then they start to taper off. I could see in the holiday season them bundling it with certain games. So much like Microsoft does with the Xbox. So, but yeah, early adopters are not going to get us bundled in packed in game. So that's what that story is about. Let's go to our next story here. Okay, let's see if I can hit the right keys. All right, here we go. Another IGN.com story. Nintendo sold 1.5 million NES Classics worldwide. Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's almost 10% of the Wii U sales on a product that just was released this holiday. Very, very cool. A lot of people had a hard time getting their hands on them. I think they got one more year to sell it. As a matter of fact, if I were them, I may do a mid-year update to it to try to get one more burst of sales this coming holiday. And in any case, having said that, one of the problems with the console is the controller cable is only 2.5 feet. Now, for $60, you would think they could afford to give it, a 6-foot cable. So just be aware that there are people selling 10-foot extensions or 6-foot extensions on Amazon. So check that out. But in any case, I have not yet picked up one. I actually, while I would love to play these legacy NES games in high def or using HDMI, I already have a couple of the original NES consoles. So it's not a huge need for me. Okay, our next story. Titanfall 2 sales were below expectations, but EA doesn't see that as an underperformance. So, it's no secret that Titanfall 2 wasn't the commercial hit EA had hoped. Of course, I think we all agree that why did they release it in the pack of so many first-person shooters? It just didn't make sense to many of us who were watching what was happening here. That said, EA still believes that Titanfall 2 will continue to have strong sales. And I agree. They're saying, maybe it'll be similar to Battlefield 4. I think it'll be much better than Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 has some serious, even today, still has some serious issues, especially in the single player, where Titanfall 2 seems super polished. So I would say that as people get tired of Call of Duty, as they get tired of Battlefield 1, they're going to stop picking up this game because it does seem like a very fun game. Again, it's not my daily game. I don't play this every day. So you guys out there will probably be a better judge of this than I am. But from what I've played, probably a couple hours, and from what my friends have said, I definitely think this game has legs, and it will do very well over the course of the next 6 to 8 months. And maybe, just maybe, EA won't try to launch all these first-person shooters in the same 3 or 4 month period. I just think that's silly. Let's go ahead and go to our next story. This story was at VG247.com. And now we're over at GameSpot.com. And they're talking about Star Wars, Mass Effect, NBA, Battlefield. Here's everything you need to know from the EA earnings call. We covered a lot of this already. I guess what stood out for me is, EA and Origin Access continue to grow. And that they're expecting Mass Effect Andromeda to sell 3 million units by the end of March. So I know a lot of people are extremely excited about getting a new Mass Effect. So yeah, it could happen. All right, let's look at our next story here. Another VG247.com story. Fallout 4 high-resolution texture pack now available in beta on Steam, but it takes up 58 gig. And that doesn't surprise me. A lot of the games on the Xbox One are, 60 gig to 100 gig, depending on how many DLCs you have with it. So, I wouldn't be surprised. If you're a Fallout 4 player on the PC, you may want to check this out. And let's go on to our next story. This is over at Polygon. We're always a little concerned about Polygon's headlines. Sometimes they can contain vulgarity, but not today. And this story shows that Morrowind expansion comes to Elder Scrolls Online. So if you have Elder Scrolls Online and you love the original Morrowind game, then you may be very interested in this. It's going to be packed all together in a complete pack for $60. Or if you already have the original game, you'll be able to pick this up for $40. I think $40 is a little high for a expansion, especially when you're giving new players everything that they already had, plus this for just $20 more. So, but on the flip side, Elder Scrolls Online, the complete edition or the base game has been on sale both on PC and Xbox for as low as around $10 or $15. So that's what I bought it at. So I still think $40 is kind of high for an expansion. But again, well worth it if you love this game and love this universe. So very exciting news for the fans of the Elder Scrolls. And a Polygon story here. New Need for Speed game coming soon. So this series was rebooted back in 2015. And it was simply called, that edition was simply called Need for Speed. And at that Electronic Arts investor call, they actually announced that before March 2018, there will be another Need for Speed. Now, I'm hoping they don't release it in the holiday season. But again, if there's no other races coming out at that time, that may be a good time to release it. So we'll see. This is totally different from the Need for Speed Edge project that's being developed as a free-to-play online game. So let's go ahead to our next story. Well, that's it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you like this short little 5-minute to 10-minute news update, then please like the show, subscribe to the show, and share it with your friends. And with that, I just want to wish you a great day at work today. I'm headed off to work myself. So until next time, until tomorrow morning, peace.